Evaluator is to evaluate everything that takes place throughout the meeting. During the meeting, I was taking notes of everything that happened and didn't happen. And I will evaluate the overall presentation of the meeting, and I will also have my partners do individual evaluations. First of all, I would like to, number one, thank you for being here and the flexibility, and I would like to recognize always the flexibility to fill all the roles. A special shout out to our Mr. President that it could take up to 4 or 5 roles if it's needed, and always willing to flex in order to get our meeting with the right structure. Okay, so thank you very much, Owen. And we're gonna start with individual evaluations. We started on time, and the energy and meaningful purpose of growing. We all come here because we wanna grow and we wanna learn and we wanna progress on our interactions and proper public speaking. So that's the main reason why we're all here. And I wanna just emphasize, thank you again, and flexibility. I'm gonna call my partners to evaluate individual speeches. So the first one is gonna be Kiara evaluating Billy. Please come over.
I'm sorry, what's the time for the evaluators?
2 to 3.
2 to 3.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Billy, I really like your speech because you show your passion. And because you were passionate, you were a little, you explained too much that you got excited and you took little more minutes, but it's because you love it. But what did I like about it? Because you talk about financial freedom, and that's what everybody wants. I really love how you show us some graphics and some concept that, for example, I didn't know, and you teach me today. And I really appreciate that. You show the US debt clock that I didn't know that it exists. So it's good that we can learn it every day. You explain all the concept to get everybody keep up with your presentations. About the clarity, some parts of the speech were a little fast, but with the graphics and the backup that you had, we understand. So that's a good thing to have when you have like a few minutes to talk something. About the vocal variety. I really like your tone and volume. And for the eye contact, I will recommend you to make more eye contact to both sides, to don't lose the attention of the audience. About the audience awareness, I really like the question that you made, because that make us to contribute with your presentation. About the comfort level, I noticed that when you talk about some personal examples, you enjoy telling them, so you feel more relaxed. And about the interest, all the information was really interesting because everybody wants to know about financial freedom, and the examples and the graphics were really helpful. I really finally I love the phrase that you gave us at the final, that let to grow, not just to know. So congratulations.
And that's also the other reason why we're here twice a month, all the learning that we can hear from all our different topics. Thank you, Billy, because it's very educational. Many of us sometimes don't pay attention in all the tax on a long term, how much could it mean? And it's a little bit scary, and I always have that ambivalent feelings when it comes to the US debt keeps growing. Unfortunately, is concerning. Okay, let's move forward with our next evaluation. Miss Helen, who's gonna be evaluating Owen.
Can you not time me yet? What's the name of your speech? I'm sorry.
Don't back down.
Don't back down?
Yeah, don't back down. Last minute thing, so.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Today I'm evaluating Owen's speech. Owen's speech name is Don't Back Down. And he mentioned that there's 2 valuable lessons that he learned, and there's always consequences where if you don't, do the valuable lessons. And one is to respect another, and one is to stand up for yourself. I thought there was a lot of clarity in his speech, and he had vocal variety. I get excited when he's in a confrontation with another person. You could really feel the intensity with his voice. He had really good eye contact, and there was no notes. Unfortunately, I have to aspire to be Owen as well, to have no notes and to conjure up this emotions from his memory. And he had nice gestures as well, and I'm sure he got all of your awareness where you feel the tension, where what's gonna happen to Owen. He's up against this really tall person, and I felt that he was really comfortable with his speech. He always does his speech in the last moment. Maybe it only took him 5 minutes to prepare, but you can't really tell. So I was very interested in his speech, and I follow along all throughout his speech, and I'm sure everybody did. And to challenge yourself, I just thought it was a very good speech, but to make it even better, because the speech had a lot of stories and had a lot of lessons to be learned. So maybe next time you will just summarize it for us at the end to tell us, what are the 2 main lessons in your life that your parents always tell you about, and what happened and transpired that taught you a more important lesson so that you don't get beat up. And I thought that was very good that you turn your other cheek to let somebody else, hit you. And I thought that was really difficult to do. And I tip my hat off to you. And I just felt like maybe you could mention something more so that the conclusion with your experience will bring it home and help us to learn from you more. Thank you.
Got one more.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guest. Doing another speech, evaluating Carissa. And the topic of her speech today is emotional awareness. That was an outstanding PowerPoint presentation. The pictures are so cute, and it drives home the message to everyone that's watching it. And once again, you did a great speech. you had it all memorized, or you use your PowerPoint presentation to lead you from one point to the other. And you didn't rely too much on the PowerPoint presentation. Your eyes was, focusing on the audience, and I thought that was really good. And because of the speech is about emotional awareness, and everybody has sadness, scaredness, and anxiety. So, I was thinking about myself as you were talking about your speech, and I learned something from you. So I felt the comfort level was there. You did spend a lot of time preparing everything, I could tell. All the audience had their attention on you, and they're probably thinking about themselves and the various emotions, and if they are really keeping it down, because we don't want to get sick, right? So overall, I felt that your speech was very well done. It was very clear. Everybody had their attention. Your gesture was good. It was right here, right there, right here, and right there. I thought that was pretty good gesture. I don't really think you have much to work on, but to challenge yourself, to make it even better, and to drive it home more, maybe you could give like an actual example. Maybe 1 or 2 actual example about your friend, your family member, or yourself, how you learned and how it helped you, and maybe somebody got sick because they were emotionally not aware. So that's my summary, that you did everything so well, and if you would just give some example, it would really drive it home. And maybe ask some questions and wait for people to raise their hand and answer, so there will be more audience awareness and engagement. Thank you very much.
And highlighting again the flexibility. Thank you, Helen, for filling into 3 roles. It's highly appreciated. And also shout out, because as a Toastmaster, she keeps the energy flowing and the agenda on track. Thank you for that. Great job. We're going to move forward with the next supportive role. But prior to that, I want to just have a second to comment on to the speeches. What a great content, and we're always learning. And it's true, Owen, we always say that you have great speeches, but you always have that engagement that we're all waiting for what happens next. Again, that ambivalent sense that is he gonna face that tall guy or he's gonna back down? And I was no. And but good thing that it had a happy ending with a great lesson to learn. And I think we all have to remind and keep it. It's not worth it. And we always have to be respectful. Thank you. And Pureza, what a great subject. Especially some of us are afraid to be vulnerable, afraid to cry, or afraid to just admit emotions. And it is true that it is connected to the diseases at some point. We're all for holding those emotions. Thank you. Again, keep learning. Every single speech is bringing a lot of value to our daily meetings. All right, we're gonna move to our next supportive roles, and Jenny, timing report, please.
Yes. Kiara's evaluation time was 3 minutes, 20 seconds. Helen's first evaluation was 2 minutes and 58 seconds. Helen's second evaluation was 2 minutes and 24 seconds. So they're all within the time. So if you'll vote for best evaluator and pass those over.
So vote between Helen and Kiara. All right. And our next is gonna be supportive roles. Jenny, are you ready with what?
Yes. Hi, good evening, fellow Toastmaster and honorable guests. First speaker was Pressa for table topic. And I combine your table topic and your speech. You have 8 3 4 so, 1 like, so not too bad. And Cindy, you have 5 and 1 and 1 n. And Marilyn, you have 7 and that's it. And for a first time speaker, it's not bad. And Wicca, you have 3 and 2 2 so. And Gabby, at your table topic, you have nothing. Went through so smoothly. But now you just got 2 1 and 2 n. Billy, the whole speech went through smoothly. I couldn't catch any and ums and so you're fine. You have a perfect speech tonight. And Helen, you have 14 2 1 so, and a lot of repeats of and, like 8 and. I know you try to connect to the next sentence. Maybe you can pause.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So you try to connect from one sentence to the next. You put the n, so you have many n's of repeat. And then Kiara, 3 1 and 1 n. And everybody did a good job. Thank you.
Our next supportive role, Mr. Elliot Scarmarian.
Grammarian, word of the evening. Well, let's start with the word of the evening. Let's go back to front this time around. We picked the word ambivalent. And I sat here and I thought, well, don't have strong feelings because nobody's used it. Don't have any mixed emotions, nobody's used it. But glory be, Gabby saved us at the tail end. She was very ambivalent about the U.S. debt. Nice way using of it. And I found it was even more impressive the fact that you could find a way to weave Owen around the word ambivalent too. So you used the word twice this evening. But the real curiosity question is grammarian. Did we use the proper English language? Interesting twists in a few places. Parisa, we started off with table topics. And in response to the question you talked about, I get to go to the trip with someone. I don't know how you go to the trip. It's on the trip. So I get to go on the trip or on a trip with someone else was the choice. You find in table topics, we're nervous, we're scared, we're upset. We have a tendency to do all sorts of crazy things like the ums and the ahs. So you get a lot of counts on this side. We have a tendency to lose track of what we're using in a normal language. Cindy, my favorite hobby I want to say is the piano. You're already there talking. You don't need to say, my favorite hobby is the piano. So many ahs. If you hadn't raised your hands up and commented about it, we probably would have missed them, but you emphasized the fact that you were spotting what was going on and what had happened to you. Good ear to catch yourself, though. Very impressive, the fact that you were aware of what we do here as a first-time guest, and you caught it at the tail end. I thought, congratulations from that perspective of it. Marilyn, no issues, very good response, appreciate participating. Rika, you talked about struggling with the word and what I felt was great visualizations so we could understand how you were trying to communicate with us, since English is obviously not your first language, to turn around and 3-4 people instantaneously looked up and says, carry on your back. So when you struggle with the word, it's a good example of how to not just point, but emphasize and use visualizations to help in your communication skills, and the audience could follow what is going on. You raised the question, which was the second part of your speech, how to shape you. And you just politely looked at the people and said, that's too difficult to answer. And that's a very good response, because table topics is trying to teach you to think on your feet. And if you're going to go ahead with something that's very difficult, you're going to stumble all over yourself. You're going to get 44 ahs in 3 seconds or less, It's better just sometimes to have a very polite, concise, I have no way to figure a good response to that. Some simple answer, you did a very good job, the way to get out of, could have been an embarrassing moment, very good response. Gabby, I had no issues on table topics, and your response was good. Owen, you did good, and then we got to the tail end of it, and you said, I'm gonna return the floor to Toastmaster of the evening. And I'm sitting here and saying, how can you pick up the floor and return it to her? I want to give control back to the Toastmaster, something of that nature. Or, Madam Toastmaster, it's your meeting again. Something of that way that we run into the idea and what happens. Following up on Kiara, I thought was a good point. Parissa. Billy for Kiara. Parissa, today we will go ahead and talk about our emotions. Today we're going to talk about our emotions. You don't even have to tell us that now. We're going to go ahead because that was your opening. If you had been talking about other subject matters, then you could have been focusing the group and saying, now we're going to go ahead and talk about emotions. But that was the opening, so you really didn't need to explain that we're going to go ahead and do this. Interesting, good, descriptive phrase. You're talking about how to figure things out. Not know what is behind that face. I thought that was a great description of summarizing something that I've not heard before, but it was very ear-catching to the audience to focus them on what you want them to think about and do and what's happening. Owen, very good. No comments, no observations. Billy, now I will follow back on what Kiara said to you about it. And my general thing was, slow down, you're too fast. And what you do is you have a tendency to use these published terminologies and try to include them in your speech. So you go with the governmental programs of what is happening. I don't even get this one right. The market volatility and the mathematical calculations. I'm a big believer in one syllable words. Two is a lot. So rather than governmental issues and what's happening in programs, it's government programs. Short, simple. Market volatility. It's a volatile market. Mathematical calculations. It's a math calculations. So part of it is, the comment before is, you're going so fast and then you decide to use these, what analysts would call fundamental terminologies. They like big, huge words. They just try to impress people, and 2/3 of the audience isn't quite sure what they're talking about. Keep it very simple and very focused, and people will understand you much better because they don't listen to a lot of that terminology. You can simplify it with some other way about it. And the evaluations. Kiara, I like the question that you made. I'm not too sure putting that together. I like the question that you made. I like the question that you had or something. You don't make the question. You do, but you don't word it that way when you come out. Helen, number 1. A lot of clarity in his speech. I thought that was a very good descriptive way of how to summarize the point in a speech that you were using. The clarity was a very nice way to do it. And Helen 2, though, the other one, your eyes was focused on the speech. They was focused. They were focused. Or current tense, they are focused. But you can't wasn't type thing. And I thought it was an interesting summary at the end with her R counter when she said, I'd like to welcome the Toastmasters and our honorable guests. Nice to have honorable guests this evening, true. I'm General Evaluator.
Thank you. I just have to say thank you, and we all learn from Elliot. When I just got to Toastmaster and the first time that I listened to the evaluation, I always thought ever since then that Elliot was a teacher. And I used to call him teacher, and he wasn't a teacher. But thank you, because you bring us a lot of value, and you are helping us to grow. Thank you. All right, moving forward with our did you all vote already for evaluations and everything is good over there?
Yes.
So the overall meeting, it was prepared and the room was ready and equipped on time, and all the guests welcome upon arrival. The Toastmaster kept on flowing with good energy. Thank you, Helen, for that. And the topic master, thank you again, Owen, for flexing. We're gonna go ahead and move forward to the recognition of the night, right?
Yes.
Going back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
I'm just gonna focus on that.
Yes.
Did it just go out by itself?
Yeah, but it's
I think so. I didn't know.
Was it timed?
It needs a sensor.
It's a sensor,
And if you
yeah.
walk there, yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Because all you just spoke.
Time to go home.
all
Okay.
right. So I conclude the evaluation. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
We're just gonna do
Yeah, that works.
Yes.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Now we are going to present the awards for our best speaker of the day.
Table topics first.
First for table topics.
Oh, drum roll.
Gabby.
Gabby.
Oh, thank you.
You got, oh, you can take.
What an honor. I need to add to my collection.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're growing close.
You have to give it to me.
Oh yeah.
Standing up for herself. She learns the most.
She wants to.
Best speaker of the day.
Grayson.
Yeah, good job. Good job.
Oh.
Evaluated.
To do Toastmaster many times. Best evaluator for today. Drum roll. Helen. Yay! Thank you. I'm going to give the leadership or the control back to the president. She was about to say the floor.
He was making notes.
You're off the clock, right?
Yeah.
She was about to say the floor.
Right. So we have a custom where we give ribbons to guests who come. So first we'll go ahead and ask you about your impressions of the meetings, and then we'll just take a picture and we'll give you this little ribbon that you can take home. So, all right. So Cindy, what was your impressions of the meeting? What did you think of? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Or?
No pressure.
No pressure. Just be transparent. No problem.
Sure. That was a lot of information. I enjoyed it. Everyone's so kind and gracious, and the feedback is so amazing. I learned so much from everybody. Just like the whole process of speaking and also giving feedback. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Awesome. Yeah, we try to, just to add, like, we tried to, this is not our usual size. So, you know, a lot of people had to take different roles. You know, usually it's a little bit more organized. But yeah, we try to give as much feedback as possible for whatever, you know, speech you do. So we hope we presented that to you, and it seems like we did. So, all right. So Marilyn, what was your impression?
I enjoyed it. It was very collaborative, a lot of feedback, which I enjoyed. And I learned a lot from the presentation, so thank you all. I think that's some things to improve. I would like recommendations, I guess I could say, to kind of help the guests a little more, to know what to do and where to find you guys. But other than that, it was perfect.
Yeah, that's right, because I think Billy told, we were supposed to make a sign for the guests, and we haven't been able to do that. And I know you guys were lost, so I apologize. for
No
that.
worries.
Yeah, and also we had this system where we would have the guests know the roles beforehand, and we just,
Got
yeah,
it.
like I said, it's just one of those irregular days. So thank you for the feedback. We appreciate it.
Of course.
So Reka, what's your impression?
Yeah, I'm so impressed, by everybody's great speech, and then also correcting everybody's, yeah. So that's really helping us. Yeah. So thank you for having us,
Yeah.
having me. Yeah.
Absolutely. Right, but just would you like a written?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we'll just do one by one. So
Oh,
would you
okay.
come? This is just for you.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, look over here. Okay. Good.
Thank you.
You're coming back, right?
Marilyn?
What can I do to get that ribbon?
Bring more new guests.
Yeah, bring one. Alrighty, we'll just, this is for you, we'll take a picture.
Maybe change my face.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And then we'll break up.
You'll be on the stage next week.
Okay.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Alrighty, so we're just gonna do the roles for next week and then we'll adjourn the meeting and then I'll do my last remarks. So anybody like to do a speech?
I'll do the third one.
Third? Okay. I'll do another speech then.